Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video, we are going to talk about the upcoming 11th anniversary Super Sugo Fest, analyze it, go over its part, and I will offer you advice to make an easier decision on where you want to pull. What's the best part? Is there such a thing? Let's talk about everything. First things first, I want to emphasize something. This is the 11th anniversary Super Sugo, but it's only part 1. It's not advertised that way. But Bandai teased Saturn in their promotional content for the 11th anniversary, which means we are going to get a Saturn Super Sugo Fest highly likely in part 2. So this is the film red Super Sugo Fest structure in case you're new to the game. We get some characters, some Super Sugo anniversary ones as part 1, and then in 2 to 3 weeks we will get more still as part of the 11th anniversary Super Sugos and events. So if you really want Saturn, or just to wait for the other characters to be announced to perhaps see if you're more interested in them, this Super Sugo Fest remains until July 11th, so you have plenty of time to make a decision. These characters will also not be available in the next parts, they are not that shady. And another super clear indicator to me that we are going to have more parts as a veteran player that obviously a newer player cannot distinguish. Bandai would never in a million years or any other universe in existence only provide 2 Super Sugo Fest characters for the biggest event of the year. They would minimum provide 3 Super Sugo Fest characters if these were the only characters that were about to come out, like it happened last year with the 10th anniversary, and like it happens most of the time during the New Year's Super Sugo Fest events, similarly to Gear 5 Strength Luffy, Sabo and Whitebeard Ace this past New Year's. Let's talk about the part 1 we are getting for now though, which will be divided in 6 parts. That's right, part 1 will have 6 parts, stick with me. The reason for that is, in part 1, all of the new legends will be available. Luffy, Zoro and Sanji, Kizaru and Nami. In parts 2, 3 and 4, you are pulling for Luffy and Zoro and Sanji, but each part will have the dedicated artwork for one of the 3. So if you want the Luffy illustration, part 2, the Zoro illustration, part 3, and the Sanji illustration, part 4. All of these parts have the same pool of legends, thankfully, because if they wouldn't, that would be crazy, but they have the exact same pool of legends, so the only difference is which illustration you prefer from the character, and everything else is exactly the same. They even come out at the same time. In these 3 parts, of course, Kizaru and Nami are not available, and then in part 5 we have the Kizaru part, the other legends are not available, and part 6 is dedicated to Nami, the other legends are not available. And with each of them having a dedicated part, they also have a dedicated pool of different legends, including Super Sugo Fest and anniversary exclusive ones. And in case you're wondering, by the way, Luffy and Zoro and Sanji, no matter what illustration you get, are the exact same character. The only thing that changes is the visual on the art you have on your home screen. For the very basic information, we have 15% legend rate, which is the highest ever in One Piece Treasure Cruise, which makes sense in these types of Super Sugo Fests. We are going to get some free multis. We are going to see the 3 new rare recruits, Usopp, Frankie and Chopper, rate boosted in every single one of the parts of this 11th anniversary, but these rare recruits will only be available in this part, not the upcoming ones. We're getting a new collection with the Memories of the Straw Hats line of legends, and then part 1 comes out first, where all of the new legends are available, and the rest of the parts, 2 to 6, are coming out at the same time, which is actually a good move. But let's now talk steps. The steps for parts 2 to 6 are the same, but the guaranteed character in the end changes depending on the featured one of each part. Part 1 has different steps, so let's begin with that. The rate boosted step we see in like a million steps is essentially a nothing step, just a fancy title. Whenever you get a guaranteed legend, that's fine, but the most valuable step whenever you get a rate boosted legend, so steps 6, 8, 15 and 25, because that step gives you the best chance of getting one of the new legends. Step 10 is also valuable, where every single poster is a legend. A lot of people will pull until there, of course. But these are the two most valuable ones. After that, we don't really have a lot. Step 18 guarantees you a Super Sugo Fest, but it does not specify new, so be careful. It can be any Super Sugo Fest character, and all of them are available in this step. All of the Super Sugo Fest legends, all of the anniversary legends, and generally all of the legends in the game that are normal. So no treasure map, no Kizuna, no Pirate Rumble. Step 18 could be anyone from the new Luffy and Zoro and Sanji, and even Onigas Magid, like one of the worst ones in the game. Step 20 guarantees 50% of a chance for each poster to be red, which is not that good for such high of a step in my opinion. And step 30, one of the new Super Sugo Fest characters, so either Luffy, Zoro, Sanji or Kizaru. But in my opinion, not super worth, because what if you get the one you don't want? It's a 50% chance. If you want both, that is fine, but if you want one specifically, you will pick their designated part. Parts 2 to 6 have the exact same steps, the only one that changes is step 30, where you get the new legend guaranteed that is featured in each part. The rate boosted or Sugo rare character step is a nothing step, absolutely useless. Whenever you get a guaranteed legend, it's good. And then the most valuable steps are the limited and super limited pool ones. So 5, 8 and 25, and then 10 and 20 for the super limited pool. Every part has a pool of 30 total legends, including the new one. It is different, of course, for each featured legend. 2, 3, 4 are the same for Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and then the other two are different for Kizaru and Nami. For the limited pool, the 30 legends become 15, and then for the super limited pool, they become 8, and that step gives you the best chance to get the new legend you want, and actually any of these 8 featured legends in said step. For some pooling advice, starting with part 1 and then depending on what you get there, if provided you do not want a specific one of the new legends, you can spread your pools after that on different parts and try to get Super Sugo Fest legends you're missing. I will give you an example. Let's say you do 10 pools in part 1, you go until the full legend multi, and then depending on what you got in all of those 10 multis, let's say you got Nami, you are most likely not going to go for the final part, part 6, if you are also not missing more important Super Sugo Fest characters from that part. You might go for Luffy, Zoro and Sanji in parts 2, 3 or 4 depending on the artwork you like. Now, you can also spread your pools in between parts excluding part 1. If you really like the new legends, you might just go for Luffy, Zoro and Sanji in one of their parts, and then if you want older Super Sugo Fest characters, you can try your luck in parts 5 or 6 as well. That's another strategy. But the most important thing to know, if you want a specific one out of the new legends, let's say you love Nami, go for their part. So for Nami, part 6. The same goes for older Super Sugo Fest legends you might want. For example, 10th anniversary Int Gear 5 Luffy. If you really want him, you should go for the part where he's available in the 30 legend pool, not part 1, which would be part 1 in this scenario. Overall, number 1 priority should be getting new Super Sugo Fest characters. Then after that, you can also consider anniversary exclusive legends, and if you get new normal legends out of your pools, that's a bonus. You should not specifically target them. So for an example, let's say from part 5 you are missing 6 normal legends, but have everything else except Kizaru. But in part 3, the other part you were considering because you love the Zoro illustration, you are missing 4 Super Sugo Fest exclusive legends and only 1 normal legend. Technically, in part 5 you are missing a higher amount of legends, but the legends you're missing from part 3 far outweigh, as far as value goes, the legends you can get from part 5. Super Sugo Fest legends are generally way more impactful and helpful for your box. If you miss an equal amount, either decide on which characters you think are better. You can also check out my Super Sugo Fest or Anniversary exclusive Legend tier list, 2 videos that I did a couple of days ago to help you out. Or you can go based on what characters you like the most or what abilities you like the most. At the end of the day, this is a game, so pulling for your favorite characters is always fun. Let's quickly go over the parts as well. In part 1, we technically have 20 rate boosted legends, the 2 new Super Sugo Fest ones, and Sai Gear 5 Luffy. And then as far as Anniversary exclusive legends go, only the new Nami in the rate boosted part because all of them are available in general. But something I am not certain about and we can't be until the Sugo Fest is officially out, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji here are visually 3 characters, right? But they are the same character ability wise with 3 different illustrations. So we don't know how the rates are exactly going to play out. They are probably going to be the same as Nami and Kizaru, but divided by 3 in between the illustrations. But we can't be sure, so take that with a grain of salt until the Sugo Fest is out. The Sai Gear 5 Luffy being rate boosted in part 1 is also amazing for new players, and generally if you're new, it might be the best idea to do 10 pulls in part 1, see what you can get because all of the Super Sugo Fest legends are available, except if you of course want something specific as we discussed about before. For the normal legends that are rate boosted in part 1, we do see some very good ones and they can be helpful for your box, but overall not the most amazing pull, I would say. For parts 2 to 4 with Luffy, Zoro, Sanji probably the most new player friendly out of the new legends, we see Love vs Blackbeard and Gear 5 Int Luffy, who is also awesome for newer players. The Anniversary Sugo Fest only character pool is nice, as Snake can be a great captain, and then we have 2 characters that have the possibility to provide 3 turns of chain boundaries in the Oden Captain Safety unit and the Cross Guild, but the Cross Guild probably not as new player friendly as the Luffy Super Sugo Fest units. For part 5, Kizaru's part, we see some very good legends and I have to admit they seem to really be pushing the Marine tag and Kizaru. 10th Anniversary Shanks, Zoro and Sanji, absolutely amazing characters to have. Shanks vs Kid and the other 2 Super Sugo Fest are also very good. And even for Anniversary exclusive legends, we have the Roger Captain Safety unit, Zoro and Kaku are great, and the same goes for Film Red Luffy. And for part 6, we see Luffy vs Kaido and 10th Anniversary Ace, 2 of the best Super Sugo Fest characters in the game, and we have Anniversary exclusive Nami, the new one of course, and Roger, one of the best characters from that category too. Oiran, Yamato and Sabo are also great Super Sugo Fest legends, but more for players with a more well-developed box, I would say. Not so new player friendly, but if you get them as a new player, they are definitely welcomed and very future-proof characters. Overall, there is not a singular best part, it will always depend on what you are specifically missing and what you want. But let's assume you have absolutely nothing. Bandai has done a very good job balancing these legend pools. On one hand, in my opinion, the Super Sugo Fest and Anniversary exclusive pools for both Kizaru's and Nami's part are better, but for the Luffy, Zoro, Sanji part, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji is actually the best new Super Sugo Fest character who is extremely good for new players as well, and some exclusive legend pairings in the legend pool of these parts brings the part at a higher value too. So, in my opinion, if you are a new player, what should you do? Doing 10 multis, if possible, in part 1 might be the best move if you don't want to target some specific characters. And if you do want to target specific stuff, depending on what character is available where, just go for that part. And that's all my advice for the upcoming Super Sugo Fest, trying to give you the best ammunition possible to make a more educated decision. I tried to also generalize things as much as possible. I can't know what everyone has available in their box. If you want more specific advice, write a comment down below, I would be happy to help. Hopefully the video helped out though, I would really appreciate a like if it did. And as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, best of luck with your 11th anniversary pulls, and I'll see you in the next one.